You're listening to the Trance Messages from Spirit podcast, episode 2, with trance messages about Mother Earth and the Moon. Hi, I'm Linda Pynaker. I'm a trance medium and author. Heather Fisher, another trance medium, will be meeting with me to talk about how she learned trance to enable her to allow spirits to use her vocal cords to speak. You'll be able to listen to trance messages received by Heather, and she will talk about her experiences with energy and light related to the spirits she connects with. Hi, Heather. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Linda.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
I'm really looking forward to talking with you about what your experiences have been with trance. How did you first discover it?
That's a good question. I think that I kind of just started to see other people and hear about it. And I think probably one of my first experiences, was John Edward, was just the idea of it being something that, that was open to all of us, that maybe we could be connecting. And from there, I just started to become, I think, more and more open to the idea of it.
Uh-huh.
And then I think that probably the next piece was when I think it was you that had offered a class. And so
Okay.
I thought, you know what? I already had a strong feeling that everybody could do it.
Yeah,
everybody could be part of it. I just felt like that was a natural progression. But I knew that it would be important to do something, a class or something. So.
Oh, cool.
And yeah,
that's great.
So I think that's how it started. I really do.
Okay. Do you remember what your first experience? Do you remember what it was like?
I was trying to think about that. Just in general, I was thinking about that when other people talk about their first experiences. And I think for me, the first experience was really more of, I think it was in a class.
Mm-hmm. Wasn't it
before? Go ahead.
Weren't you here sitting on the carpet?
I think I might have been, yeah.
Because I remember being impressed with how quickly you went into trance. Everybody's sitting up in chairs and you were on the carpet because you're back. And you went right into trance.
Yeah, I think the part for me was just that unknown of not knowing what to expect of it, like what to expect it to be like, and kind of having some of those just unclear about it. But what I remember the most is strong feelings of that connectedness, of really feeling the energy coming strongly in through me and connecting with me, and really a lot in my heart center. And for me, there was a really, really strong, it was a profound experience. I think for me, it felt like a heart opening. Wow. I really felt like there was this connection that came through and really was so moving.
Oh,
that was a piece that was so moving. And and it definitely got me thinking that it's more than just, there's more to it that comes through than just, say, verbal messages or language.
Yeah.
It could be so powerful in the experience.
Yeah. Thank you. That's, the energy is so incredible, isn't it? Yeah. Cool. Yeah. And how have things changed over time with you doing trance? Have you noticed any changes?
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
That's funny that I said that word. Oh, big time. But the part about it is that I think over time, I've just become more and more comfortable with just anything that comes through.
Oh,
I think initially at first I had expectations around what I thought it was going to be like, what I expected it to be like. And really what I realized is over time, it gets easier in the sense of just really allowing whatever to come through. Right. And that piece about just knowing that, that your intention is there and the connection is there, and whatever is needed at that moment comes through, and it really can look very different every time.
Yeah, that's true. Right? Yeah. What challenges have you encountered?
What was that, sorry?
What challenges have you encountered when you're connecting through trance?
I'd say some of the physical, I'd say probably some of the physical challenges of just maybe not knowing what different sensations, what was happening. So then feeling kind of clenched up by that, feeling not necessarily shut down, but just sort of a little bit clammed up or
a little bit cautious.
Yeah. Cautious, just feeling my body tense up and just so for that, for me, is something that definitely over time, just getting comfortable with all those feelings, like and I was thinking, I remember the heavy head feeling or neck feeling really so relaxed or just feeling so tired. And at the time, and not realizing maybe other than with other people's words to say, oh, that can happen. Oh, that can happen when you are going into trance. And so just kind of getting used to those feelings that can come on quite strong sometimes when you're open for and channeling. So I think that those have definitely been challenging sometimes, like throat clench up. Or
from the anxiety or whatever. I know my main trance cried, Bashura, he told me, he said that you want to be so relaxed that you feel like falling asleep. Because one time I was doing trance by myself at home, and I just felt like I need a nap. He says, that's what we want you to feel. We want you to feel so tired that you want to go to sleep, because that's what makes you relaxed enough to allow a spirit to come in and talk. And then once I found that out, that really helped.
Yeah, I think so. And it's just a matter of, I think, getting used to those sensations and feelings that can come in quite strong into our body. And so I think that was a challenge, especially initially at the beginning. I think that I'm just getting more and more comfortable with that over time.
You're expecting a variety now, because it's amazing how many different spirits come in, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, for sure. And just how many different feelings we can have throughout our body.
Because we feel their energy too. And if they're excited, we can feel excited. And if they're adamant about something, we'll feel, more determined. Well, I just want to let the audience know that you and I are in a small group of trans meetings that support each other and share trans messages with each other. And I've saved some of the recordings from your trans messages so that we can talk about them. So I'll just, I'll play one of those now, okay?
Sure. Yes. The creatures, the sentient beings, they too are going through change. More and more we'll feel their presence. More and more we'll feel their connection. More and more they will speak up. And some of us will hear them. I went to say, so this is how this kind of started, and then it just kind of got funny. But I went to say I'd like to connect with spirit from the light. Instead, I said I'd like to connect with elementals from the light, and then I realized, and then I said spirits from the light, and then I heard clearly. I just and then I just kind of got broken off, but I heard all God's creatures.
Wow.
I'm going to just check. Mother Earth. Mother Earth has been healing. Mother Earth has been waiting in all her power and all her glory and all her need. She has been waiting for this day. Changes, the fire, the wind, the storms. She has been waiting for us to take notice of how things can be, of how things could be, of how things should be. And everyone is starting to understand this more than ever. And this we all know. For the path forward, she will be heard. So many connections, much greater and further than you could possibly imagine. What you are all doing affects so many, greater and greater and greater. I just had a little flash of like Men in Black, you know that? We are all here rooting you on. Cheers, cheers, cheers. We are so excited. Let there be light. Feel the light. Share the light. Let there be light. I'm just getting flooded with light.
Okay, so one of the things that you talked about during that recording was that you experienced a flash of Men in Black and being flooded with light. Can you talk a bit about what that was like?
Okay, sure. You know what? First of all, I was just going to say it's interesting because just even hearing some of the channeling that comes through, it's interesting how it can be like hearing it for the first time. You know?
Oh, for sure, because when you're doing it, you're not conscious of it. So afterwards, when you hear that recording, it's like, oh, I don't remember that.
That's right. I don't remember that. Or, oh, wow.
Yeah, okay. Exactly.
So it's interesting because sometimes it just brings more questions around things. But I certainly think that there was a reference that came through, and what strongly sits with me at this moment is just how there can be so many different ways that the channeling comes through. Besides language itself, and feeling,
yeah.
It can also be music. It can be
visual
images. Yep. It can be connecting you to memories that you had in a flash. It can be different things that's bringing in through you that healing and those messages. So that's the piece. I think the piece around the Men in Black, I think it must have something to do with the show.
Yeah, I see. I haven't seen the movie, so it didn't mean anything to me, and that's why I wanted to ask you about it. I want to know what it was.
I think for me that reference would have been around. Here's this life and these Men in Black who have a complete acceptance about the entire universe, about the so many beings in the universe, and they, of course, this show, they have their mission, but of what they're set out to do. But really, I think that for me, that piece that came through would have been really just around that
openness,
being in a universe with so many different beings.
I'll have to make sure I see the movies then. I don't know why I never got to see it. I just didn't. So
okay, yeah,
I'll have to make sure I do. And then you said something about being flooded with light in the message too, like after the message. Yeah, you probably don't remember it.
Sure.
Yeah. Exactly. That's okay.
Yeah. And but again, I'm going to guess it has something to do with that same connection of around the universal piece. Anytime I feel that sense too around the light, I'm often thinking, again, I always go back to that sense of healing, that that's such a positive experience of any time that I've done the channeling is the experience itself. There's so much warmth and love and connection always. And that flooding of light is always such a positive.
Yeah, and so impactful too.
Impactful. I think of it as a profound experience, really.
Yeah,
you're just getting just flooded with this wonderful light, warmth. Yeah.
Yeah. And, one of the things that is really neat is that, because we go in and out of trance quickly, in between the periods of getting messages, we're able to experience all kinds of things like light and energy and it just gives an opportunity for all kinds of different things. And for me, when I'm in between trance, it just enables me to be more present with whoever I'm with. when I'm not sharing the messages through trance. And it also enables me to share visual images and sensory images, just like you do around the energy and the light. Yeah, that you otherwise wouldn't be aware of, because it doesn't occur while you're sharing the trance messages. It occurs before, in between, and after.
I honestly feel like a lot of it gets downloaded all in one big chunk. Yeah. There's a whole bunch of things happening all at once being downloaded as you're connecting,
going
and
into
having
trance,
having that piece. Yeah,
it's very cool. Well, I have another message that you shared in which you experienced a display of light to demonstrate and reinforce the message. So we'll listen to that now.
Sure.
Yes. Sky bright in the night. Look up, look up. Try as you might, you will see where you're going. You'll see what might be. It will help you find the way. Little ones, big ones, all in a row. Candy, candy. I'm asking for somebody else to come in. I'm like, really, where's this going anyway? Somebody just said, don't be rude. Kid-like, kid moon. Remember those times. Out on the water. In the sky. How we can all connect to the moon. The moon can help us all to connect to one another, like a link, piece by piece by piece. I'm seeing, it's like matrix, silver matrix, how we all connect. The world. It comes through like a white silver light.
So one of the things that came up in that message was talk about the moon's energy. And I know that it's really important that we be more connected with the moon, because the moon's energy is so strong, and the charge of the moon is helping change to happen at a faster pace now. So the more we're connected with it, the faster change will be happening for us, and the more we'll be evolving and developing our intuitive and trance abilities. So
I think.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think for me, since that particular trance message came through, that it's just really brought it to the forefront to me, is be aware of the moon. Don't forget what it's like to connect with the moon. Be out there any chance you get to connect. Be open to that and don't forget about it. So for me, that's been really in my presence. So I find that sometimes that happens with the channeling, is that it can bring things to you to say, hey, do this, connect with this, and it'll be important.
Right? Yeah. I remember the last time we met with our group, you mentioned something about having been woken up 2 nights by the moon.
Yeah.
And I think that was an effort to get you to connect with the moon.
Absolutely. It happened again, actually, just a couple nights ago.
Oh, okay.
The full moon harvest. And one of the dogs actually wanted outside at about 4 a.m.
Okay.
And it was lit up like a stage because the moon was so bright. You could see absolutely everything. I ended up going out there. By the time I let him out, I ended up going and standing out there because just to go out there and take it in.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
we've had the full moon and everything, and then of course now it's getting to a smaller size, but several nights when I've let my dog out at 10, I've gone out in the porch, and if I can't see it well enough, I put on some shoes and I've walked out past the porch so that I can see it, because
Yeah.
it just feels so wonderful, and it's been very beautiful lately.
Yeah.
And of
that's
course,
so
I'm aware
true.
of trying to connect with that, and that helps me do it. It also helps me when I get back to bed to be able to visualize it and connect with it
Yes.
again, even when I can't see it.
Yeah, for sure. That's
Mhm.
great.
I guess I'm wondering if you have any advice for those learning to connect through trance and allowing spirits to use their vocal cords to speak.
I think, again, for me, the biggest piece is that to really be able to, you know, I think that we've discussed this before as well, is that some people are just finding that they're actually already starting just on their own individually to have a bit of trance happening.
Yeah.
For me, a big piece of going forward is connecting with others and like-minded people who are also doing trance or wanting to practice, wanting to learn more. The power of the group is that's been just over and over has been so important. Messages come through for individuals, sometimes messages come through for other members of the group, and sometimes the messages are for the whole group.
Yes.
But the ease of doing the channeling seems to be
much
there
better
when you have when you have the group. It's stronger. The feeling of being able to have the energy flow. I think there's great opportunity for the healing to be happening, and oftentimes messages come up that's for everybody.
Right.
And so that would be one big piece, is that if you're interested in channeling and you're already feeling like you're connecting, see about reaching out to others and to see if you can find other people to practice with, other people to listen to, see how they're doing things, what's out there, what's going on.
That's a great suggestion.
Yeah. And the other piece that I always think is just super important is that people know going forward for channeling is that probably the most important pieces are really getting heart-centered and grounded. And that's taken a lot of practice. For me, I look back over the years and I've often thought, oh yeah, I'm pretty good at being grounded. But that is something that we can keep going back to practicing. And really it can help. It's pivotal, really.
It's so important because you can't receive accurate messages unless you're grounded. And there's just really no way that you could connect with spirits from the light if you're not grounded. They're just going to be hovering and waiting.
So that piece about just knowing that is super important, that you get grounded, you get back into a heart-centered space. And again, I find in group that's really easy to do. And then with some direction and guidance from others as well. I mean, and Linda, that's been a great piece that I have gained from you.
Thank you.
Around, it's truly is just really being there to validate. Yes, you are grounded. Yes, you are in that space where you need to be. Sometimes we're not sure when we're starting out. Sometimes it's easy to pop out of being grounded or being out of your heart. You go back into your head. But just working on it. And I found that to be super, super helpful to have, again, that support and guidance around that. And that would be a huge recommendation to other people.
Yeah, thank you.
Get connected.
I think one of the neat things about being in a group too is I really think that it raises the vibration in the space. So that's another thing that helps make it easier for people to connect. It seems like people are more relaxed. They've got the support, so that more able to get grounded. And then the vibration's higher, so the messages seem more profound. And
it seems easier, actually. I think. Sometimes it can be that feeling like it's just easier to.
Just something about it flows a little better. So.
Good.
Great. Well, I want to thank you for joining me. I appreciate being able to share some of the trance messages you received and your experience connecting with spirits through trance. So
thank you for having me again, Linda.
Oh, you're welcome.
That's been great. Yeah. I look forward to our next meeting where we get together to practice our trance.
I do too. Thanks.
Thank you.
You may strengthen your connection with nature to assist you in your spiritual journey. The moon is trying to communicate with you. Spend time visualizing the moon to enable you to receive messages. Thanks to Heather Fisher for joining us today. Thanks for listening. The next podcast will be available on Thursday, November 11th at 6 p.m. Pacific Time. I would love for you to join me then. If you'd like to be notified about upcoming Trance Messages from Spirit podcasts, please follow me. If you'd like more information about the classes or one-on-one trance training I provide, you may visit my website at lindapynaker.com.